Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Monday, and all of our guests today, including Elliotte Friedman, standing by, or at least in a few moments. Sponsored by Passant Motors. Passant is the home of No Tax November. Let Passant pay that pesky GST on your next vehicle purchase with them. Stop by their dealership. It's located at 16315 Fraser Highway in Surrey, or check them out online at Passant Motors, BASANT Motors.com. Just waiting on Elliot. We got him yet, right? No? Okay. So we wait on him. In the meantime, in the wake of the Canucks 6-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning in Tampa Bay yesterday, the Canucks play again today, 2 games in 2 nights. And Rick, we have some information in case you were not watching earlier or listening earlier on the Canucks starting goaltending situation tonight.
All right. Don't be surprised, Donnie, if Jiri Patera plays in the NHL tonight for the first time in 3 years. Somebody saw him at the practice rink in Florida this morning with the goalie coach, Marco Teronius.
Teronius,
yeah. Teronius. So,
also known as just Marco, much like
Marco.
Elvis.
Huh?
Yeah.
Marco's a great name. I had a buddy back in the 80s, Marco. Dentico. Yeah, I'm serious. Marco's a great name. Just listen. Patera tonight, don't be surprised. And also, Garland tweaked something in that fight yesterday in Tampa Bay. Don't be surprised if he takes a rest tonight.
Okay. Elliott's good. Okay. Elliotte Friedman joins us now. Elliott's also a great name.
Oh, great. One of the best.
Right up there with Marco. Elliotte Friedman joins us now from Hockey Night in Canada and the 32 Thoughts podcast. Elliotte, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Hey, I heard, Rick, you were giving out medical information on me earlier on.
Yeah. You had a foot injury a while back.
Yeah, it was bad. Like I used to have, gout. I manage it much better now.
Right.
But one thing I was doing like some working out and I injured my toe.
Oh, right.
And I didn't realize that like if you trauma can aggravate it, and man, it kills. So that was that day. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
The gout's under control.
It is under control again. Yes, it is under control.
Good to hear. Hey, tough transition, but what are the Canucks getting in David Kampf?
Yeah.
Former Leaf.
Well, Kampf is, he's not much of an offensive threat, to say the least. It's funny, like, I saw Patrick Allvin calling him a two-way center, and I think that basically that's a euphemism for a guy who can defend. And he can defend. He is a good checker, and he is a positionally sound player. He's not going to get you a lot of offense. Simply what happened here was, and honestly, Don, you can never blame players for this. He got a salary that was too big for what his value is. And he, what's he supposed to do? Say no? He gets offered $10 million over 4 years. He's not going to say no. Of course, he's going to take the deal. He's going to sign the deal. But then all of a sudden, I think Toronto had a lot of very similar players. They had a cap crunch. They had a roster crunch. And he was kind of the victim. I don't know that he was a huge stylistic fit with Craig Berube. But, the one thing he can do is he can check. He can defend. He can kill penalties. He's not going to get a lot of points, but he is an NHL player. And, he went down to the American. It's kind of weird now because, Don, the Matthews is hurt now. Nick Waugh's hurt now. He won't play tomorrow. Like, their centers tomorrow night are going to be Tavares, Max Domi, Steven Lorentz, and Jacob Quinlan playing his second career NHL game. So all of a sudden, Kampf, if he was there, he'd probably be playing right now. But he was unhappy in the American Hockey League. He didn't want to be there. And I'll tell you too, Don, one of the reasons he didn't want to be there was because he wants to play in the Olympics. And he was concerned if he spent the whole year in the American Hockey League, it might cost him an Olympic berth. So he's going to be motivated to be in the NHL. He's going to be motivated to get in a fresh start. He's going to be motivated to play in the Olympics. And like I said, he's not going to get a ton of points for you, but he can check and he can defend.
Yeah, and of course he would be representing the Czech Republic. The Canucks beat Tampa Bay on Sunday. They come back to do that with 5 third-period goals, 6-2 the final. They're a resilient 9-9-2. So outside of Vancouver, what's the early word on the job Adam Foote is doing in his first year as Canucks head coach?
Ryan, I think this. I always look to see, is a team playing? Like, is a team playing hard? And, we can take a look at the Canucks roster and we can take a look at the prognosis, and everybody can disagree about which way they think the Canucks can go. One thing that you cannot argue about is that this team plays hard. And I think that, to me, that's one of the things. What do coaches control? I think coaches control the way you play. And coaches control, do they have their players ready to play? And you're going to have stinkers, you're going to have bad games. But generally, I think we've seen a lot of games where, like the game in St. Louis, right? Everybody thought, I think, that the Canucks were going to get killed that night. They won. The game in Carolina, when Quinn Hughes couldn't play right before the game, I think people thought they were going to get stampeded, and they took it to overtime. That one last night where they were down 2-0. I was a bit surprised by that one because I wondered how much Tampa would have left after that emotional game against Florida on Friday or on Saturday, the day before. And when they got that lead, I was surprised. But then I don't know what just happened. Like, Vancouver pummeled them. I just look at Vancouver and I see a team that plays hard. And I think that's something that says a lot about the players, and I think it also says something about the coach, because it's clear that he has them ready to go most nights. And that record, 9-9, as you said, Don, I don't know if that is a record so much of their ability or the effort they put into a lot of these games.
Elliotte, Adrian Kempe, big contract with the Kings yesterday. Who's left for July 1st, Elliotte? Who's left? I mean,
Alex Tuch and Artemi Panarin.
And Schmaltz. Schmaltz should do.
And Nick Schmaltz.
And Nick Schmaltz
is another one. Yes. Like, he's absolutely another one. It's funny, like somebody said to me, it gets worse and worse for you on July 1st.
Wow.
And I said, you know what, maybe I'll take vacation this year on June 30th so I don't have to work that one. But look, I think Schmaltz, I don't know. I think a lot of people seem to believe that he's going to test the market. It can always change. Panarin, right now the issue there seems to be term and also the number. The Rangers asked him to take a Kopitar-like deal this year or consider it. That didn't happen. Tuch, to me, that's almost as much about, where's Buffalo going as much as anything else. How does the player feel about where the organization is going? But suddenly those are, I would agree with you, the three biggest names out there. No question.
Hey, the Maple Leafs picked up Troy Stetcher, Richmond kid on waivers. They're 15th in the Eastern Conference. What's going on, Elliotte? 1-5 on the road. What do you see happening in TO?
I think they're really leaky, Rick. Like, they don't defend very well. They've never been a great defensive team. Last year, their goaltending duo, Stolarz and Wool, on close-in shots, like slot or inner, they were top 5 in the league. Top 2 in one of those numbers, top 5 in the other. When I checked earlier this week, they were 31st and 25th. So saves that they were getting last year, they're not getting this year. And that's not all on goaltending, Rick. That's also just the fact that they give up a lot of good chances. Like, they've had some games this year where they just, the quality of chances, they had a Carolina game last Sunday where I think they had like 4 breakaways in a row. They had a really good defensive period on Thursday at home against LA. They were up 2-0 after 1, but they're just not wired to play that way. And they lost the game. And cross ice passes happen a lot. I definitely think the whole Marner thing, Rick, he did a lot for them. He was a 100-point guy.
Yep.
He carried the puck. He was a top penalty killer. And also I think he was a big personality in the room. He was a lot of their social conveners. So I think they're really missing him on and off the ice. And Right now they're really banged up. They're really hurt. And, I'll say this about Vancouver. We talked about it a few minutes ago. I think the Canucks have been more than the sum of their parts a lot this year. Toronto has not been like that. They have not been more than the sum of their parts, and that's a big problem for them.
Jack Hughes, finger surgery, something happened at Chicago Cut restaurant in the Windy City, out for 2 months at least. So what are you hearing, Elliotte? Any chance he's going to be available, or any chance he'll miss the Olympics?
Not right now at this point in time. Like they said, basically they said that he'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks, Don. So whatever injury he has there, they have to see how it heals after the surgery. When I first heard about it on Friday morning and I was working on it, Don, there were people who really thought he was going to be out for the Olympics for sure.
Wow.
Now, the way it works now, and we're not at that point, so the news was actually better than I think New Jersey and Hughes were expecting, so they were happy about that. The way it works is you have to submit your team by New Year's Eve. I think Canada and the USA are planning on doing it July 1st or January 1st, unless that changes. So what you can do is you can name someone, and then basically you can change them right up until you go to the Olympics. So if Hughes is going to be on this team and he was off to a dynamite start, I think, Don, they name him, and if they have to switch him, they'll switch him. I think that's the most likely scenario here. I was joking today on the pod, like when I was looking into it, somebody said to me that from what I understand about you and the guys at Hockey Night in Canada, it's the kind of thing that would happen when you guys go out. So I don't think there was anything nefarious here. I think there was just, just something unfortunately fluky that happened while people were out celebrating.
Elliotte,
by the way, guys, I don't also John Beecher on waivers today.
Yep.
I'm curious to see if Montreal looks at him at all or anything like that, because they need centers. They got injuries. But also, I don't think, even though you guys got Kampf, I don't think that stops Vancouver's search for a center, which we all know is a hard thing to find.
Yeah, the ongoing search for a center. By the way, I'm looking up, this is one of these words I've heard all my life, gout. I'm looking it up. Take care of yourself. That's serious stuff.
Well, no, you know what? I changed a lot of my diet and lifestyle a couple of years ago. And it's very hereditary too.
Oh, okay.
Some of it is but some of it is diet, and I really worked on that. But my father had it, so when I first got it, the first thing my doctor asked me was, "Is there anybody else in your family that has it?"
There you go. Yeah.
And my dad, and they're like, "Oh, you're doomed now." So you have to be really smart about these kinds of things. And I'll tell you honestly, Don, I've had injuries before. Nothing hurts like this hurts.
No,
it's a killer.
Just looking it up, I feel for you, buddy. All right, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, Elliotte. Outstanding as always.
All right, guys, take care.